All right, we're in James chapter 1, and we've just read verse number 27, what James is defining as true spirituality, to visit orphans and widows in their distress and to keep oneself unstained by the world. I'm afraid that that does not typify modern day Christianity as we know it. So few professing Christians seem to have any concern for the least of these. And I guess I should show some mercy because of the fact, as I mentioned last time, we're living in a nation where, for the most part, we're not feeling so sorry for widows because many of them, are so well taken care of and, with their husband's retirement money or by the state or by some other charity. And so, they're not living on the street begging as they are in so many other countries. And orphans, the same deal. So we're just living in a country, that's unlike many other places in the world. So I'll give us that much grace. We're not faced with a need, and so we're not faced to do anything about the need. On the other hand, I think we're well aware of the fact that, a good part of the world is living on less than just a couple of dollars a day. And naturally, widows and orphans in those situations are going to be facing some severe trials. And so it behooves us to get involved with, doing something to help them. And that's one of the areas, among many areas, that the ministry of Heaven's Family, as you probably know, has focused on. About a fourth of all that we do is to benefit orphans. We're helping them in 8 countries and I think 40 or 50 orphanages around the world, and trying to get foster care programs started in many of those places and educate people about the importance of taking care of orphan kids and so on. It's a big deal, and you can get involved. And we can do it with totally pure motives, because you can sponsor a child on our Orphans tier website, currently, as I'm saying this, for $20 a month, and 100% of it is sent to the orphanage where your child lives, and somewhere or another benefits that child and the other children there. Okay, and we've got many programs and ways that we're helping those kids. So if you want to have pure and undefiled religion in the sight of our God and Father, well, we've got an avenue for you to get involved now. We've also got a widows fund, and we're helping widows to become self-sufficient by giving them grants, loans to start small self-sustaining businesses and so forth. So the base is covered. We're here for you. Take advantage of that. And then the third thing that James said was to keep oneself unstained by the world. And of course, we know the world is in darkness. The world is not submitted to Christ. The world is going its own way and rebelling for no good reason. And so we don't want to look like the world. We want to look like the children of God. And so we don't want to be participating in the evil that the world is, so full of. So that implies a lot of things. And I think anyone with half a brain can begin to make an evaluation about his or her own life in that regard. Okay? Now, this next verse starts a new chapter in James. Remember, James didn't write his letter in chapter or in verses, and so I think sometimes it hurts us when we come to these chapter divisions and we make an assumption, this is a whole new page we're turning here now, a new chapter, and unrelated to some degree to what we've already read. I don't think so in this case. I think that this is a beautiful flow from what we've just read. James is expanding on what it means to love your neighbor as yourself as you keep the royal law, the perfect law, the law of liberty. Okay? And that involves, again, treating the poor as you would want to be treated if you were in their place. And James says in verse number 1 of James 2, "My brethren, do not hold your faith in our glorious Lord Jesus Christ with an attitude of personal favoritism." Now, what does he mean? Well, he gives an example of what he means in the next couple of verses. "For if a man comes into your assembly with a gold ring and dressed in fine clothes, and there also comes in a poor man in dirty clothes, and you pay special attention to the one who is wearing the fine clothes and say, 'You sit here in a good place,' and you say to the poor man, 'You stand over there,' or 'Sit down by my footstool,' have you not made distinctions among yourselves and become judges with evil motives? Okay, why is partiality shown to the wealthy? Because we're hoping to gain something from them, and so that's why we'll elevate them to a higher place of privilege than those who are less wealthy, because we're hoping to benefit. And so James is coming across hard on that. And if I could just read another verse here, verse 5, "Listen, my beloved brethren, did not God choose the poor of this world to be rich in faith and heirs of the kingdom which he promised to those who love him?" And so God has not shown any partiality against the poor or towards the wealthy. Jesus has died for everyone. God has not just chosen for wealthy people to be rich in faith and inherit a kingdom prepared for them. He has also chosen that poor people would, have faith and be rich in faith and inherit his kingdom. Okay, so be imitators of God in this respect. Be obedient to the law of liberty, loving your neighbor as yourself. If you were a poor person who the only clothing you had was one pair of clothing, and you didn't have the means to wash it, and you came to church and they said to you, sit over there or stand over there, you wouldn't appreciate that. And you say, wow, some people are getting special treatment here and they're judging me based upon what I'm wearing. You wouldn't like that. And so that's not an example of loving your neighbor as yourself. Okay? Easy one to figure out. And so I think it's also interesting, and there's lots of things we can say about this, and I will say about it next time because we're just scratching the surface here. To be a wealthy person, by James's definition, all you had to have was a gold ring and dressed in fine clothes. That's it. And you're wealthy. And the definition of a poor person, this is a biblically poor person now, one set of clothing and their dirty clothes. Okay, so next time we get together, we'll talk about the ramifications of, exactly what James is telling us there, and throw some more light on a very, very important subject. Thanks. See you next time.
HeavenWord 7 is made possible by the financial support of viewers like you. Thank you.